Hello. Hi everyone. You all hear me? Hey, hi Radhika. Hi Ashok. Hi Karan. Hi Ansha. Hi Raman. So we start for the day. So yesterday, what we did was we had discussed onto the part of data modeling. I hope it is clear to everyone. Anyone any questions on that? Okay. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the new topic that is DAX, right? Data analysis expressions. So I'm just sharing a data set for all of you over here. Okay. Okay. I hope my voice is clear, right? No disturbance and all. Okay. So today what we will do is we will be starting off with the DAX, right? DAX is something that stands for data analysis expressions, right? So DAX is basically a formula expression language that we use in the Power BI. So right, it's just like you have these what I will say is you have the formulas in Excel, right? It's something similar to that, right? It's similar to that, but little more advanced as well on that, right? So if you are suppose if you have to do some calculations, you have to create some new columns, measures, tables, etc. So what you can do is you can actually use this DAX language, which can actually help you. This is something that can help you to get those calculations done very quickly, right? So that is where these data analysis expressions are used. And DAX is a very powerful language, right? Basically, it is not just that it is used in the Power BI. it is used in other the platforms of Microsoft as well. You can use it in the Excel, you can use it in the analysis services, and a lot more places. So if you get an idea of that, how those DAX are used in Power BI, so in the other languages or the other tools also, you will be able to use it effectively. So what we will be doing is, we will be first of all learning the measures. We will be learning the DAX to create a calculated column. Right now, a calculated column is what? A column that you make by the help of calculation, right? Like something that we made in a Tableau also, right? Calculated fields. So we were making those fields over there as well. So similarly, you can make those fields over here in the Power BI also. So let's get started on that and let's try to understand it better. So I have shared that data set with you, right? The training sample. So if you will just take a look at it, so this is the data that I have shared, in which you have the sales data only. I mean, just a little bit of a different level at a different level. So you have the regions, countries, customer name, business segment, and what item and category was sold on what particular date, what was the list price, unit price, and order quantity. Right? These are the columns, these are the fields that I have. So I would like to use this data set to do certain calculations and come up with some understanding of the DAX that we have. Okay, so there are a lot of DAX that we will explore on this. So let's get started. Probably what we'll do now is we will open up the Power BI. Okay. So what we are going to do over here is we are going to click on Excel and grab that data. And just load the data from the training sample. Right, this is the sheet that we have to load in. Right. So now, on this, I hope you are able to load this data, everyone. See, so we will come into the data view and we will start making some new columns in this, right? So we will explore a couple of functionalities in this. So columns are quite easy. You all will be able to understand it. The main, the fun will be into the measures where you will see how the calculations happen at runtime. So like for example, what I want to do now is I want to add a new column, right? So let's add a new column over here, right? So the new column that I would like to add over here is that is a column of cost, right? So how will I calculate the cost? So cost will be unit price into order quantity. That will be the costing, right? So when you click on new column, you just have to say cost equals to unit price multiplied by order quantity. Okay, and then you click OK on this, and you will get the cost. So unit price into quantity. Similarly, add a new column for sales. Suppose I'm saying sales is equals to unit, that will be list price into order quantity. So you will get that. Okay. So can you add a column of sales, profit over here? Please add a column of profit. Profit done. Yeah, sales minus cost. Right. So you add a new column. Profit equal to sales minus cost. So you get this. Now let's add new column, and we will now add some columns related to the dates. Right. Suppose now you want to extract the year. Right. You want to add a column of years. You can say year equal to year and use the sales date. Right. So now when you will choose sales date, right, it will start showing you this date, day, month, etc. Do not select anything from here, just close the bracket. Because if you remember, we discussed that date in Power BI, what happens is Power BI creates a date hierarchy automatically. But we don't want to do anything on the hierarchy. We just want the column to be extracted.
Amit, when we do this, it only loads the year. So, can you explain this? Like, what is this year function doing?
Is it this one? No?
Yeah.
This is extracting the year from the data, like whatever the 2017, so it will extract 2017 from here.
Okay. So we don't need to choose anything in the end then, right?
No. If you will choose that, your answer will go wrong.
Same way do we have for month and date also?
Yes, the same thing we will do it for month and date and week number also we will see. So we add new columns to extract the month. So you will say equal to month of sales date. Similarly, please add this for day also. Now, like this is what we are extracting. So over here, similarly, you have week number function as well, right? Suppose if you add a new column, you want to extract the week number. Week number will be equal to, we have a week number function for that. In the week number function, it's take two output, sales date, comma, 1 and 2, whether your week begins from Sunday or your week begins from Monday. Okay, so that is how you give two inputs in it. You make this, you will get this output over here. So similarly, create a weekday also, and then create table to show sales and profit by country. Sales by customers, and sales by business segment. So you have to make these charts. After you make this, the, the weekday column. Okay, please try. Now, I'll just be back in 1 minute. Right? Just try it out.
The question screen is having a black box in front of it. Can anyone else see the questions?
No, I can't see that.
There's a.
Me neither.
You open the chat box.
I think it got stuck.
I think chat box.
Yeah, maybe.
I think first one was create table. Can anyone else see it?
Create table for sales and profit. Till that I can remember. After that, I don't know what is the query.
Okay, thanks.
Which new column we have to create?
Weekday.
Weekday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the second query?
Not sure.
I don't think so. I think that's the first one. Create table for sales and profit by country.
The first one is, oh, I think he came back.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
done
but
with
there
this?
was a chat box in front of the question, so we all couldn't see.
Sorry. I thought in this chat box is not visible. I thought so. Okay.
Also,
Uh,
Amit, that formulas which we created for the new column, they were coming on the chat screen also.
Which one?
The new column which we created.
The week number and all.
Yeah,
Uh,
they are coming in that when we are creating the table also.
they will come now. If you come over here, your
Yeah.
table, you have to drag and drop those fields and make it up.
Yeah, no. I was able to get. I'm getting that that row like how we created that small screen. Yeah, that one it is coming in on that. Let me-
This, are we talking about this formula bar?
Yeah. Well, let me show you. Let me share the screen. I think I'm not. Oh. Someone is sharing the screen. It seems.
I was doing it, I stopped it. I'll do it
Okay.
again.
Yeah, here.
It comes over here also. The same formula. So
Okay.
it will be, you can make the column, you can make this, because you can make these columns from this report view also. So they are
Okay.
visible.
Can't we close this one? Like,
Just click outside on the chart, so click this outside,
oh,
it gets closed. First close the box at your hands, right? Now
here.
click on the white page. Click on the white page inside the middle. Left
This
side.
one. Okay.
Okay. Just click over here, it will go away.
It's not going away.
Uh,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So like what we did was we were creating a new column over. One was I asked you to create a new column, right? So that was a weekday. So we all would have created that. So it is weekday equal to, we use weekday function, and date is sales date, comma. So you have 1, 2, 3. So Sunday through Saturday is 1 to 7. So I'm using 1 over here. That is what I get. Now you will be able to see the weekdays are visible over here to us. Okay, so it gives a numbering. So Friday is like coming as number 6, Saturday would be 7, Monday is 2. So that is how I get the numbering over there. So
Have option to like if it is for week month 4, you have option whether you can display as
like
April.
this what you're asking?
No. If the month is 4, can it be displayed as April?
Huh?
No. For example, if week month the month it displays as 4, right? For example, so we have an option to make it as April.
I'm really not sure voice is going a little low.
Oh, once.
I think she is asking instead of month displaying in the numerical value, can't we display it as April itself?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that. I will show you that. So we'll be doing that. So we will show that, and we will calculate the weekday also. Right, the day of the week as well. See now, like weekday, week number, day, month, year, we have calculated all. So now there is a function which we call it as, like we call it as format. So format is, it's like a text function in Excel, right? So format is a function. What basically this function does is, this converts, this applies a format on a numerical data, right? So like for example, what I want to do is, if I come over here and I say new column, you just watch it for a second, you will just get it over here. If I write month name, so month name is, I will say format, and the column is sales date, okay, comma. Now from the sales date, I want to extract month. So I have to give a format over here. What is that format? If I write MMM 3 times M, it will give me the month in a short form, right? April as in APR, right? You will get the month is coming in the short form. If you write 4 times M, you will get the complete month, the complete month. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Similarly, if instead of writing MMM, if you write DDD, 3 times D, it will give you day. Okay, you get the day over here. If you write 4 times D, it's going to give you complete full monthly. Okay, this is a very interesting feature. You can, like right now, I will keep it as month only, 4 times N. And you will see complete month is visible. Now, if I add a new column on this, okay, so you can use the same date, the format function to have some different date formats also. So if I say date format equals to, I use format function and I say sales date, comma, if you write MMM space YY, so see, you can use YY to extract the year. So it will give you the 3-part month name space 2-part year name. April 17. You make the Y's 4 times, it is going to give you April 2017. Okay. So if instead of space you put hyphen, that will also work. It will show month hyphen 2017. So whatever format you apply, it is going to show the output in that same order.
MMDDYYY, even that works.
Sorry.
Like MMDDYYY, even that works.
Now you can do that also.
Ah.
So if you write MMM, so if you write 2 times M, it will give you month number. So 3 times M, month name. So if you want to write MM space DD space like this, you will get that also. You don't want to give space, you can write that together also. Okay. See, now what we'll do is let us all make a chart over here, right, in this table. Now please make a table in which I would like to show the country, and not a table, make a matrix, right? This is a matrix that you have. Please make a matrix. In the matrix, you will drag country, and in the columns, drag the month name, and then put the sales in the values. Please make this. Right? If you will notice in this matrix, the months are not coming the way they should be, right? If you see the months are coming like August, December, February, right? April, August, February. So they are coming in the alphabetical order, not in the chronological order. So if you want to get the months in a chronological order, how can I do that is you will actually have to do the sorting by doing some mapping, right? Like for example, you select the click on the column of month name. If you click on the column of month name, then you say sort by column month. Over here, you will find the option of sort by column month. So you are saying that the sorting of the month name should happen based on the how the sorting happens on a month number, right? 1 to 12. Because see, 1 means Jan, 2 means Feb, because we have the month numbers also that we have already extracted. So I'm just changing that sorting of the data. So I'm saying sorting of this month name should happen by month. Right? Please do that calculation.
How did you get to column tools?
Sorry?
How did you get to column tools?
Column, you just click on that column. When you select that month name column, the tools will come up. This will come up over here. Okay. So this is how the sorting can be changed if you want. You want to apply a filter of year, so you can pick up the slicer, and then what you can do is you can drag the field of year inside it. And now if you drag the year inside it, the year is coming in the form of a slider because it's a numerical data. So you can just click on this little arrow and you can convert it into a list. So if you will select 2018, you will get the data of 2018 over. You select 19, all of 19. Okay. So now, can you all please add a new column? Now, this is exactly the if function that we have learned in Excel, right? I want to add a column that if the sales are more than 1000, I should get the output as over 1000, right? If I'm saying if the sales are greater than 1000, I should get the output as over 1000. Otherwise, if the sales less than 1000. So you just try to write that if formula over here because it's the same way, the same type, the same way the way you write it in the Excel. The same is the if function that you have over here also.
Where do we need to show this on a table or where?
No, you have to make a calculated field. You have to make a calculated column. Based
Okay.
on a condition that if the sales are more than 1000, then output should be over 1000, otherwise less than 1000.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what I will do is I'm going to add a new column, which I'm going to say, let's call it as over 1000. You can give any name to this. I'm saying if, do the same thing, right? If the logical test, result if true, result if false. So I'm saying if the sales are more than 1000, I want the output as over 1000. Otherwise, less than 1000. That's it.
Amit, in the graph, in the charts, when you added a slicer, how did you convert it into those?
This one,
Yeah.
just click on this little arrow on the slicer and make it a list or a drop
Okay.
down, whatever you want. Now we can add a new column in this. So now you see this column, before I use make any new column in this, let's make a table over here. So I'll make a small table. So please bring the table over here. And on this table, use the field of over 1000. So you get two values, less than 1000 and over 1000. Then what you can do is just bring the same field again and change it into count. So you can see now that how many transactions happened which were more than 1000 and less. So you can see the count, right? So there are 31,000, approximately 32,000 transactions that are more than 1000 and 29,000 which are less than 1000. right? So now you know what I would like to do is I would like to see the output in the form of a percentage. That what percentage is less than 1,000 and what percentage is more than 1,000. So you know if you click on this little arrow over here on the count, you can show the value in the percentage also. Okay, are you able to convert it into the percentage?
How did you do it? Can you show again, please?
The percentage.
Yeah.
Just over here where the count was calculated, click over there. So just say show value as percent of grand total. Okay. Now you know like if you have to put multiple conditions, right? If you have to use multiple conditions in Power BI, so you can use nested if also if you want, right? You can easily use nested. But if still what you can do is if you still want to like do a nested calculation. So there is one very interesting formula in Power BI. That formula name is switch. So if you come over here and you see you create a new column, right? If you come in this and you create a new column over here, so I'm going to come on this new. So you can make the new column from here. Let's make the data view only. Although if you want, you can make the new column by right clicking over here. So let's make it from here. So if you right click over here, you can make a new column from here also, or you can click on insert and modeling, and you have an option of new column over here also. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now create some sales groups. Sales groups. Now I'm using the formula switch. See, switch is used in a little different way. So in the switch, first it asks for the expression. Expression is when my condition is true. When my condition is true, then what do you want to do? So basically, I am giving my multiple conditions. So I'm saying when the moment the first condition comes true, give me the output. So what's the condition I am saying? If the sales is more than 2,000, then I want to have the output as over 2,000. This is my first condition, comma. Then you give second condition. If the first condition is failing, then only it will go. Then only it will go to the second condition. It will check the condition one by one. So I am saying if the sales are greater than 2,000, then this. If this condition fails, I am checking for sales greater than 1,000. Are my sales greater than 1,000, right? So if the sales are greater than 1,000, then I'm saying the sales, I want the output as, let's call it as between 1,000 and 2,000. And if this condition also fails, you want to give else part. That if first also fails, second also fails, then you want to give the output as comma else. Simply write that part. Suppose that is less than 1,000. And there you go. So it is, you can put as many conditions as you want, right? I have now given two conditions. I am saying when the condition is true, output should be thrown. My first condition that I have given over here is if the sale is more than 2,000, output should be over 2,000. If the sale is more than 1000, the output should be between 1000 and 2000, and otherwise less than 1000. Okay, this is how you can get the output. Okay. So now you can use this also for any of your representation. Suppose if you make a table again, and in that table now you are using the sales group, and let's show the sales. So I can see that, right? So how much sales were less than 1000, over 2000, and likewise. So there I get the output. If you want to have a count, you want to see the count, so you can see the count as well. Okay. So please save this file, right?
Yesterday we had done where we were putting if conditions in like how we do multiple sort in Excel. Like we could add a if condition.
That was the data transformation, yeah. So from there also you can do that. Are you talking about that? Like from
Yes.
here we'll add, you can add from here also. So that is happening at a query editor. This is happening at a DAX level. So whatever way you feel, you can do that. So
This
both
is
the ways.
the Power Query Editor.
This is query editor from where we added that add column and we added a conditional column. So we were adding it from here. Like this.
And the way we are doing right now is through DAX, like directly entering formulas.
Right, right. Okay, so I think this is where we'll take a pause. So we will be starting out with the measures tomorrow, right? How do we make the calculated measures in Power BI? So that is what we will start off with. Okay. Okay, anything you would like to ask? Any question? Anything? So what I'll do is I'll just put an assignment also on the classroom for these stuff that we have learned. So that assignment will have some questions which will be similar to some formulas that we used in Excel, right? So please try to use those also. Some questions will be based on left, right functions that we did, and they will be used exactly in the same way, right? Like we used if over here. So try to attempt those questions. Okay. So that exercise is going to help you with the modeling plus some of the DAX functions that we have just did. Okay, then? So let's make tomorrow and start off with the DAX from there, the measures. So I think this week we will be in a position to close Power BI, right? So I think yeah. So and before we do it. So do you all we will be requiring a Power BI service account. Do you all have some Office IDs or not? Because you have to create a Power BI service account. So I'll tell you. So when you come on this website powerbi.com, you will have to make a Power BI service account, which is free of cost basically. You get a 2 months of trial, not free, or I will say 2 months of free trial you get. But for that you need to have a Office ID. Need to have a ID with a company domain, right? If you click on try free, okay, it will just ask for that ID and password, and your account will be created. Okay, you just have to give the ID and your account will be created after that. So do you all have some Office ID or not? That you can
Does it need to be an active Office ID?
active Office ID.
No.
Or else you can use school ID. I have used my school ID and it works.
School ID will also, it should have a company domain. I mean, your Gmail and this Hotmail IDs won't work.
Yeah.
I don't have either of them.
Okay. So what I'll do is, if you will note, so there are two ways of using it. Either I will share my ID password with you, right? So it says that with that ID password, what will happen is, if every time you will try to use it, a password, I mean this that security key will come to my number. That's it. But apart from that, or maybe I'll try to add. Otherwise, the best other option is you will have to first create a trial account on the Office. So your
Otherwise,
ID
can I think I'll check with my husband if he is okay to use his,
if that can be used, so yeah. So, but Office, you can try that as well.
Yeah, I'll check with him. If they are okay from their end, then I'll use his.
Okay. So try to create this ID, right? So just maybe we won't be using it tomorrow, but day after we will be using it.
So what did you say about Microsoft Office ID? It's a free of cost ID we can create.
So I'll share that link. I'm sharing this link on the. So this link I'm putting it up. So what you will actually have to do is you will just put that link over here. So first of all, you have to create an Office account. So you can create a trial account of that. So when you create this free trial of this, so there is an ID that will be generated. Like it will be something like radhika@abc.onmicrosoft.com. So I am also using the same stuff. So it creates an ID by that name. That ID can be used to now create a Power BI account. So there's a step that gets added. First, you generate your ID from here. You start your trial period over here, 30 days trial. With that, it will give you the functionality to create your Office ID, and then use that Office ID to create your Power BI account. Okay, so that is the another way.
So if we for this free trial, we would have to add our credit card information.
If you have to,
will we need to add our payment information?
You will have to put your payment information on this.
So after that, if we immediately cancel the free trial, will the ID still be active for 30 days?
You can do that. ID will be active.
So we can cancel as soon as we make the ID, we can cancel the trial and ID will be active.
Correct.
Because sometimes we just forget about it and then next month statement will come.
Right. It happens. So this is a link, and then this was the Power BI link that I was sharing, from where you have to create your Power BI account. Okay, everyone, right? So let's connect tomorrow and take the things from there. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.